Hi, it's Sarah Jane in my studio at Heritage Art. Welcome. This is my first monthly update on my long-term Dear Jane project. If you're not familiar with that or missed the first video, here's a picture of the finished quilt, which was all hand pieced, and I'm not hand piecing. I am paper piecing the entire quilt. So there's 225 blocks. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen this year. So I thought a monthly update was a fun way to show you blocks that I'd made as the months tick by. So I'm very excited that January I did get some done. I just got 4 done for each quilt for a total of 8. If you didn't see the first video, you'll know you should know I'm making 2 quilts at the same time. So here are my blocks, which I'm very excited about. Yes, 4 orange and 4 green. They were, some of them were quite tricky. Obviously the 9 patches, it didn't take as much time. This one here, it took about 3 hours to make, but honestly there was a bit of ripping out, paper piecing. You have to really be focused. There's a numbered order for each piece of fabric, and sometimes I would get them in the wrong order because I'm not paying attention, but that's okay. That's what my seam ripper is for. And sometimes the fabric's upside down when you've sewed it. That's what a seam ripper is for. Overall, just really fun, learnt lots. Very important to press and just be very accurate with your trimming and your sewing. So that's the 8 blocks I made in January 2025. Now, the other change I wanted to share with you is my initial plan had been to do the orange quilt in print fabrics with a plain background. So I was going to have print fabric, plain background. When I did the 4 blocks though, and compared them to the green, and the green is all solid fabrics and then low volume background. The idea being the low volume background would bring a bit of movement into the quilt. When I compared the 2 lots of blocks, I really didn't love the look of the solid fabric in the background. It was a little bit too calm. People say, oh, you don't want to make a dead quilt, right? One that just doesn't have any life about it. And I was afraid that all this neutral background was going to make it look very flat. So I made a change. I'm only 4 blocks in. And I've put the bolt of Kona fabric aside for another project. And now I'm using the same backgrounds for both quilts, an assortment of low volume fabrics. You can see in the green just how great the fabrics are. And here's one here I can show you up close. It might be easier. This is actually an art gallery low volume fabric. It's called Art Deco. I would love to have used it for the whole quilt actually, but turns out it's a few years old and a little bit hard to get, and I don't want to get most of the way through this quilt and figure out that I haven't got enough. So I'm actually doing a mixture of all kinds of just low volume prints in the background, and they just add a little bit of interest, help move your eye around the quilt when you walk into the room, because I want to make a quilt that when people walk into a room, they're like, oh, I want to go have a look at that one, right? I think we all do. So that's the plan for that. So all in all, yeah, a great month. What have I learned? Attention to detail. You have to focus. Even actually using a thinner thread in your sewing machine, maybe like a 40 weight or even a 30 weight, helps you get really accurate seams and allows the paper and the fabric to fold back and get a really tidy flat seam. So yeah, so that's January. 8 blocks in, or 4 blocks for each quilt. So 221 to go for each quilt. I can do it. If you have any comments, send me a message, give me a call, and anything you'd like to know, I'm happy to talk about it. Thanks. See you next month.